Welcome to Dog Moms Do Business,
the podcast where two lifelong friends find sisterhood in business, life, and being crazy millennial dog moms. We're your hosts, Ellen Broen
and Jasmine Jonte, and today's episode is all about
our favorite non-toxic supplies and brands.
That's right.
This feels like a good follow-up to our crunchy episode where we talked. I feel like we kind of already shouted out some of the brands that we already like, but we figured we'd devote a whole episode to all of the supplies that we use that we try to avoid chemicals in.
Yes. And when did you start going down the non-toxic home, non-toxic lifestyle rabbit hole?
Let's see. I mean, I can remember as far back as 2015 where I was like, it was already in my mind of trying to eat less processed foods and like avoiding the chemicals in foods, that it kind of naturally extended to me starting to observe hair supplies, makeup things, where I was starting to read labels and starting to try to understand, a lot of the labels on lotions and hair and makeup and all that, like have all of this just like chemical names where you have no idea what means what. Some of those chemical things are totally fine and naturally derived, and some of them are not. And I didn't know. So I think I started with hair way back in the day where I was like, I'm going to start avoiding the ones that have like the sulfates and the phthalates and the blah, 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 and the cruelty-free makeup and that kind of thing back in the day, about 10 years ago. But I think as I got closer to like getting pregnant, being pregnant, having the baby, that was when I got more serious about cleaning supplies and like candles and, those like kind of scented stuff. And plus like my skin has always been a little bit sensitive. So I've tended to be pretty particular about scented items in general, whether it's on my body or in my house. So it just kind of extended more research basically. Yep. What about you?
I mean, similarly, like we're not pregnant. We're not trying to get pregnant anytime soon. But I think it was just fertility, right? You got pregnant. I started listening to birth podcasts. I kind of went down the all natural mamahood rabbit hole. And it's very synonymous or, is close to the non-toxic world. So a lot of times they'll have like non-toxic home, holistic home experts be on the pregnancy beauty podcasting world. So it's like, okay, let me look into this. And I also have a friend, Alicia, who is also a listener. So shout out Alicia.
Hey, Alicia.
And she's also super into all of this because she has RA. And so like when she went down the health rabbit hole, it led her here. And so I think
RA, for anyone listening, it doesn't know, is rheumatoid arthritis.
Yeah. So I think that like her influence was also part of why I chose to do this. Like I was at her house the other day and she said, yeah, when you use the Dawn dish soap, or no, it was the dishwasher. She stayed at our house and watched Juniper. And so anytime she would come and stay at our place, she would have to rewash everything because she can taste the soap.
I can
too. Like residue on the plates.
Yes.
And I was like, sister, you are sensitive. And she's like, I know, but if I can taste it, it means it's there.
It's there.
It's just not everybody can taste it.
Thank you. Alicia, thank you for saying that because I thought I was insane and it was like some like pregnancy brain sort of a thing. But I had the same feeling where, we were using up the rest of our dish pellets that have, the Dawn dish soap inside of it. Like we'd switched over the like dishwashing liquid on top of the sink, but still had the pellets for the dishwasher. And I was like, Matt, I know you cleaned this, but it tastes like there's soap still on it. Can we like wash it in the pan or in the sink? And so everything that was coming out of the dishwasher, I was like, can we rewash it? And we came to the conclusion that, I can actually, like, it's actually genuinely leaving residue of that, those dyes and that chemical stuff on the thing. And that's why it's shiny and clean, but it's not.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Alicia. I feel validated.
Yeah. So I think that, and then also like to your point, I think we both started on this down the cruelty train first because we were like, I don't want my, lipstick tested on bunny rabbits. That's just cruel.
Right.
And, we went on our health journeys. And so it's just kind of been, I would say it's like one of the last things though. We really were like,
just for us.
Yeah. Like that like we should, make changes and initiatives. And I will say kind of 2 tips before we go into our specific suggestions. One is don't do this all at once.
Ugh, yeah.
Like pick one thing at a time. So like the first thing I changed was my toothpaste. And then I changed, and so it's like, don't feel like you have to change your whole house and how you live and, eliminate every toxin right now because it's just more
literally one item at a time. And like when they run out, it's just like, oh, like I'm now out of dish soap. That would be a good opportunity to look up some brands and buy a new dish soap. And
like we still are using our old dishwasher because Brad buys like in bulk.
Yeah. Same with Matt.
We have like 3 of them left. And I'm like, okay, well, when that runs out, then we're going to, make a new choice. Yep. So that's number 1. And then number 2 is this app called EWG. I think it stands for Environmental Wellness Group. Oh. And so you can scan products and you can search products and it will tell you on a scale of 1 to 10 or 0 to 10, I think it is, what's their toxic load. And then you can look at the ingredients and it will tell you what of the ingredients carries what toxic load.
Interesting.
And it's been really helpful, one, to see like how bad were the choices we were already making. So if you're in a place where you're like, oh, I got to change something and everything's kind of running out and you're trying to decide what to prioritize, that's a really good way to do it because you can see.
That's really, really helpful. And I'm going to do that like literally right after this episode because I think that's part of the barrier to entry is like education, right? Like we don't know what... Yeah. Like I said, like what ingredient is the bad ingredient? What's the thing to actually avoid? So then in the future, when you can just look at a label, you can see, oh, it has that thing that said it had a high toxic load. We won't get that one. But to have something that's literally like scan and search is so better.
And they don't have every product in the world. But, it's been super helpful. Like we were in Costco and we were like, oh, we need new, I think it was laundry soap or something. And I scanned in everything at Costco, even the like healthy, free and clear ones were really not good. Yeah. And I was like, okay, well, I guess we're not getting it here. And so that's the flip side of it is 1, you can see kind of what it is for what you already have. And 2, you can actually search. So like when I made some choices, I just searched laundry soap and it gave me the ones that are like EWG verified, which means like completely clean.
Nice. Okay.
So now it goes from just, how am I doing with the choices I'm making to also help me make new choices.
Nice.
You can just go and pick the ones that
nice.
I
Okay.
want to make in the future.
That's good. Cause I was thinking I've had the same experience with, even the clean and clear dish soap, like the little dishwasher pellets. There's like some, I forget the brand of it. That's like no dyes. Like it claims to be that kind of clean and clear version.
All free and clear.
Yes, all free and clear. And I still, number 1, it doesn't do as good a job, and number 2, it still doesn't like taste the same as like when I use our soap in the sink when it like it totally tastes neutral. So I'm in the market for some dish soap. So I'm gonna look that up.
I found that out of everything, the dishwasher liquid has been the hardest to find. And
So
I'll share my
TBD?
experiences with that in a
Okay.
little bit. So, but let's start at the top. Let's start at literally the top, toothpaste.
Well, so this was like one of the last things I feel like I changed.
Okay.
It was during pregnancy. But okay, so a little context. Matt is a dentist or was a dentist, now owns a dental company.
He'll always be a dentist.
He'll always be a dentist. But so I remember back early on when we met Brad, that he was on like the charcoal toothpaste train. And he was sharing, I think this is also a philosophy that Tony espouses, that fluoride in toothpaste is something to avoid.
Because it calcifies your brain. I
don't know.
Creates calcium deposits in the brain. I think, I could be wrong.
I don't know.
Check me on that, but I think that's what it is.
Yeah. But I remember when Matt initially heard that, like when Brad said that, he was like, huge eye roll. That's not true. Like, I'm a dentist. I know you need fluoride, la, 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 la. And I don't think it was until maybe a year or 2 after COVID when Matt kind of had this like life awakening for him. That was his like, oh my gosh, like chemicals and things that are just everywhere. Like, how consumerism and capitalism have influenced the market to just like be okay with making people sick and like all of that whole thing. So he took a deep dive on everything he learned in dental school. And, I don't know if everyone out there knows, but the first 2 years of dental school are the same as the first 2 years of medical school. And then the second 2 year, the second 2 years, year 3 and 4 change for whatever profession you're doing. And so every medical professional in the country is learning the same things in the first 2 years. And that's like the academic side of like, you know, blah, blah,
anatomy.
blah. Yeah. And in there, you know, they are, again, we're just like going back down this crunchy rabbit hole, like rant of like, they're indoctrinating doctors everywhere about why certain chemicals and products are what they are in the market and justifying it with kind of pseudoscience and like, you know, funding it with studies that are moneyed by people who would have a vested interest in having those kinds of products on the market. And so Matt did a bunch of research on fluoride and only recently was just like, absolutely hell no, we are not brushing our teeth with fluoride ever again. And we are always going to say no to dentists when we go to get our cleanings done, like no fluoride cleanings.
And I go to a holistic dentist.
Yeah, that's the next level. But like Matt owns a dental company. So like there's this kind of like line he has to walk of just like, you know, there are personal dental choices that I'm going to make for myself, but I also still believe in, you know, the dental industry. So we're going to support the company that he runs and attend the dentists that he, you know, hires. And they all believe that, and you know, that it is what it is. So everyone's going to have their personal journey. But the point being, we changed to the fluoride toothpaste during my pregnancy, and then I got really sensitive teeth. And so all of the regular fluoride-free toothpaste that were out there did not help my tooth sensitivity. And so I finally found one that I use regularly that's called Risewell. And it cleans my teeth really well. Like I feel like I've noticed it help with whitening and also have not had any tooth sensitivity in a really long time. And then Matt's brand is Dr. Sheffields. I think that's kind of a pretty common one. I think it's on Amazon.
That's a very common toothpaste brand. And I haven't looked up, Brad uses that one as well. Dr. Sheffields. I got him off the charcoal because it messy. Turns the sink black, everybody, and it's really gross. And just was tired of looking at his black sink. So, but Risewell, I've never heard of. I did some digging. I would go check it on the EWG because like the other day we were at Sprouts, which is, you know, if you're not familiar with Sprouts, it's a pretty, I would say pretty crunchy. Like they don't really hold, you couldn't get tied there, you know?
Right. I mean, the marketing on the outside says Sprouts is a farmer's market. So it's like literally supposed to be local.
Yeah. In Toothpaste Talk, you couldn't get Crest there.
Right.
So he ran out of toothpaste. We were at Sprouts. We're like, okay, and so I just pulled up my EWG app. And there was like nothing at Sprouts that was decent. Yeah. So I think I
ordered this Risewell from the website of Risewell.
Right. Yeah. So I'd check it. But I use Bite, which is toothpaste tablets. And they come in glass jars. And when you get the refills, they come in recyclable packaging. So it's not just, you know, friendly, fluoride-free, etc. But it also does not. It's like sustainable. Yeah, that's
a really good, that's something I feel like that's not quite hit the toothpaste market. There's a couple of crunchy ones that are like, you know, the glass tablet sort of thing. Same with cleaning products where you can like dissolve it in your own bottles and stuff. But having plastic and all that.
So highly recommend. And then I even told my holistic dentist and they were like, that's great for you. And I think they said something about it's good for sensitivity as well. Because I was having a little bit of that. And they were like, yeah, so that'll help with this and this. And I can't exactly remember what it was. But there's some ingredient in there that they really like. So, and then Darren O'Lean also is a Bite fan.
Oh, nice.
So, anyway.
Well, if the superfood man himself is.
I mean, you know, it's good. So that's toothpaste. What other like body products?
Body products. So I have a lotion that I probably, again, now I'm like questioning, like, do I need to check all of these on the EWF thing? So if you're listening here and I say something that's high and like bad on the EWF, forgive me.
We can let you know what it is in the show notes. We can do a little research before we do show notes and then we'll just give them all the rating. From
we can like asterisk it or something if it's actually not very clean. But I've been buying lotion from Sprouts that's called Alaffia, I guess. But it's one of those products that when every purchase that you make supports another cause, and it's for like bathing and cleaning like children in Africa.
Oh,
And it has this like huge long list of all what it doesn't have and what it doesn't do environmentally in the production of it. And it's naturally scented. It's got like vanilla leaf in it. I have to say, I haven't found a lotion that I really love that smells the way that I want it to smell. Cause I feel like, if you get unscented, like, all right, it's fine. An unscented lotion is fine. But like, I kind of like the idea of having a little scent, but not with like perfume, with the artificial scenting. And so this one's not artificially scented, and it advertised itself as vanilla, but I think it's sweetened. It's like the smell comes from vanilla flower, which doesn't smell like vanilla. Like it smells like...
You don't smell like a cupcake.
No. And I'm like, give me
Ellen
cupcake
likes
vibes.
to smell like a cupcake.
So, and honestly, I should probably just go with the unscented because I have other scents going on. So like, I don't need a body scent on top of it, but, it's pretty good. And they have a bunch of different scents I've tried. They have a coconut one. Matt likes the coconut one. I think you smell like a coconut.
I was just going to say, why not just do coconut oil? But then if you do coconut oil, you smell like a coconut.
Yeah, but like the slimy application of coconut oil to me gives me the heebie-jeebies. Like I don't even...
It's a texture thing.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And like, doesn't it take a minute to dry?
Yeah, I think part of it too depends on like, at least with lotions, usually if I'm doing coconut oil, I just do it on my hands or like my elbows or my knees or something.
Yeah,
Not like
super dry.
I'm not slathering in coconut oil. But I know that like with lotions, and we haven't switched our lotions yet, but it helps to be kind of wet. Like, so when you get out of the shower, if you're a little bit wet and then you do lotion, it helps it sink in. Yeah. Not sure if it's the same for coconut oil.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And then, a shout out to hair. I don't actually know, again, if we were to do the EWF, but Prose and JVN, like Jonathan Van Ness, are both pretty clean as far as what they advertise to be. And
I mean, JVN isn't even on EWG because I think he's so niche, and he's not like, I don't think that's a huge, hair company. Prose, I read their website. Actually, you know what? I just got Prose. I didn't tell you this yet.
Oh, yay.
Very excited.
Yay.
But when I was going through the buying process, I think they indicated which ingredient and the level of it in the buying process. So even though they're likely not on EWG because everything's custom, how would you do that, right? But I remember being really impressed with their ingredient quality.
Yeah. Yeah. They're very upfront about it and explain what they are and all that kind of stuff. What else? So
I have a soap, body soap.
Tell us.
So Brad has been a huge proponent of public goods.
Okay.
Which is, they're more of I would say more of a sustainable, they're kind of like, low ingredients is their whole marketing shtick. The rating of them is a 4 out of 10, which is like not great. It's not the worst. It's not the best. So once we're out of public goods, we're probably going to move to Attitude, which is this other brand that you can get online.
And is it like liquid body soap?
Liquid body soap. They also do, I think they might do lotion, shampoo. They have a ton of products.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. Attitude. My soap has just been farmers market stuff for a while. I've gotten those like bars from the local soap gal and tried different scents. But I'm not the biggest fan of bars. I'd rather have liquid. So I think once I finish up this bar, I'll give a
It's all about the lather. Like I have these soaps from Master Co, who's my pranic healing instructor. And they're infused with essential oils and salt, and so it's kind of like a salt, energetically
cleansing,
good cleansing as well. And they lather so well, so we love those. We have those all the time. But yeah, it's like kind of hard to shave your legs with a soap bar.
Totally. Yeah. No, I don't. I have a backup that's, I think it's OGX.
Yeah.
I don't think they're very clean, but
probably
like
not.
it back in I had it from a million years ago, and it's like
just use it to shave your legs or whatever.
So I use it to shave my legs, but. Yep. I'm with you on that.
Any other body stuff over there?
Body stuff. I guess we could go into, I'll give a shout out to baby stuff here because I think I've already said this in the Crunchy episode, but just to reiterate, pretty much any lotion or diaper cream or like bath oil or anything that touches her skin, I use Earth Mama, and then there's a couple other little things that I've gotten that are called Dr. Doug's. Those
I
are
was just gonna say Dr. Doug. My
Oh,
friend
really?
is like she's not Dr. Doug, but she's Dr. Doug's right hand gal.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
And-
So Dr.
yeah,
Doug and Earth Mama are our go-to products for Grace. And then we also, funny enough, like I never would I have thought that I would say this ever in my life, but that works better than even the Earth Mama products and like the diaper rash creams that we have. Beef tallow. Beef tallow on a baby's butt will get rid of a diaper rash in like 5.5 seconds. It is magic cream. So if there's ever any rash that she gets, beef tallow kind of does it. Gross, but works. And then, you know, while we're in the territory, diapers and wipes, I have a subscription service to diapers called Kudos, which is all organic, non-toxic, non-bleached diapers. We toyed for a moment thinking about the whole washing diaper situation, but the reality of it is gross. Speaking from deep conversations I've had with several mom friends who like hose off the diapers with their literal hoses, or they've attached almost like what's the thing in the toilet, the bidet? Like they almost have like a toilet attachment that hoses the poop into the toilet. You know, I just wasn't ready for that at this point. So I found the next best thing, which is like super, super clean diapers, because wouldn't you know, like the diaper industry is full of absolute horseshit that should not be touching a child's skin. So diapers.
I heard Honest is pretty good.
Honest is not anymore. I don't know if you need to scan it on the EWG. But like they recently changed their processes and like let their customers know, because this was what my nanny, who's also quite, you know, in the know about all of these kinds of products, she was like, yeah, I was using Honest something else, not the diapers, but like they were like my backup. Like if I ran out of these kind of diapers, or the home diapers were all dirty, you know, I'd go to the Target and get some Honest diapers. But they recently announced that they had to change some of their like bleaching process, and like it's not as clean as it used to, and like they apologize and they're going to lose customers from this, but they have to do this. And you know, like they're an honest, they literally, their whole brand is Honest thing. So they like were honest about a change in the process, and they're just not as clean as they used to be. So
bummer, dude.
I know. And then last but not least, water wipes. There's a bunch of clean wipes out there, but this one was just really easy to get on Amazon. And it's basically just water and some essential oil. And so it's not like sanitizing, you know, like that's something to be aware of. Like some people really like to have kind of like sanitizing wipes around, but these are just literally wet wipes.
Yes.
They have wetness to them.
Are they compostable?
You know, I don't know, because we don't compost, unfortunately, but I don't know.
I think that thinking ahead to children, if it were me, I would want to think about that. If
Composting.
Because you use so many of them.
So many.
And then with water wipes, like, you know, I've seen you guys, and even I use them for Grace, but also like to clean the tray and to clean the table and to clean, you know.
You use a million.
You use so many of them.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's
a good point.
About.
Yeah, and then the rest of the stuff I've got are not body related. Well, there's some period things if we want to get into that.
Let's move into periods. So my I use period panties from the Period Co. And you know, never did I think I would do that. I thought I would get to be a tampon till I die kind of gal, or at least till I menopause. And yeah.
Tell me your education process on the tampon industry, because it was shocking to me.
You mean like...
Because you were the ride or die tampon gal.
Yeah.
And now, like, what changed? Like, what made you stop with the tampons?
I think even before it was what they use in tampons, like to make tampons, it was the sustainability of like, how many of these am I going to use over my lifetime?
Yeah.
And it's just getting clogged somewhere. And same thing, pads have the same issue.
Yep.
And I would kind of flip-flop when I was using the tampons and pads. And also just the freaking cost.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like...
they're not cheap.
They're not cheap, and it's disposable. And then my friend Allie got a Diva cup. And she was like, Jasmine, you have to try this tea with towel. Like, it is amazing. And she's like, and you just use it. You have one. And you never have to buy a tampon ever again, which I was one who I would run out.
Right.
And then I would need one, not have one.
Yeah.
And like that happened to me a few times, which is really freaking annoying.
Yeah.
And
just
so
wad up the toilet paper in there.
Yeah, totally. The number of times I've done that is ridiculous.
Yeah.
So I thought, okay, well, let me try this other thing. And then I started learning about the whole toxic thing. I was like, oh, great. This is a choice I'm already making for a different reason that also helps with, low toxicity.
Yeah.
And then I looked into the panties I got, which is from the Period Co. And they are very, nice. I don't know if they're like top of the line in terms of non-toxic, but they're they're quite good.
Period panties toxic?
The liner.
They're like not made of cotton or something?
Could be made of something else.
Okay.
Or how they're treated could be a thing. And so I have like 5 or 6 pairs.
Nice.
And I bought them over a year ago, and I will wear them.
They're amazing.
They're great.
I also, during my, so I was pregnant, so I didn't have a period for the longest time. And then while I was preparing for birth, I was like, everyone kept saying you need to get, everyone kept saying to actually wear disposable diapers the ones made for postpartum that aren't just like adult diaper kind of things. And I was like, you know what? Like, I don't really want to feel like I'm wearing a diaper. So I'm going to look into postpartum panties, and then maybe I can just get like high absorbency ones that then will work fine for period panties. And so I found 2 things that I would highly recommend. So one was, I just got Thinks panties. I think they have like a subsidiary brand called Speaks, Thinks and Speaks. And I think Speaks was more tailored for postpartum, and Thinks is more period, I think. And so I have
the same thing.
Yeah, they're like the same thing. But so I got the highest absorbency ones, and the only issue I had was like I couldn't use them immediately postpartum because my belly was really tender. Yeah. And I got the high rise ones thinking like, that would feel more comfortable to contain my stomach, but it just felt a little bit too tight when I first got out. So I ended up not using them. So what I got instead was Honey Pot. And you can find them now in some like drugstores and stuff. Originally I got them online, but I saw them out in the world and I was like, oh, wow. And what I did before, I gave birth was I took a bunch of like really heavy duty postpartum like pads essentially that are the heaviest duty pads you've ever seen in your life. And I like brushed them with what was it called?
Witch
hazel and some essential oil. Was it lavender? And like some aloe stuff. Like I had aloe spray, lavender essential oil, and witch hazel. And I like painted all of these pads, and then I rolled them up and I put them in my freezer because everybody says like you want that cold sensation, and those other ingredients kind of help soothe and heal. And so I did that, and I remembered thinking like that was way more effort than like it was actually worth, because they're cold for about 3.5 seconds and then they're not. And I don't think I had the right ratio. Like it didn't quite satisfy what it was supposed to do.
So there is this thing called Postpartum Soothe, which is a product that is all of the herbs and things you would want that you use. I don't exactly know 100% how it works, but it's created by Cynthia, who's a co-host of the Down to Birth podcast. Okay. And this is like her thing. It's like the tagline is like, it's like having a sitz bath 24/7. So, but it's all herbal. It's all non-toxic. Nice. All that stuff.
And is it the spray, or is it like already in something?
I haven't had any reason to really look into what it is. But all I know is it's for that purpose.
Nice. Cool. Well, shout out to her and that podcast. But so Honey Pot was basically like a more effective, already done for you pad that had all of those things. It has mint, aloe, and lavender in it. So no witch hazel. So if you needed witch hazel to add to it, then that. But like their pads, and I still use them sometimes when I'm just, I don't know, like when I want them, because they feel so good. Like it's so like cooling and refreshing, and you're like, la!
It's very hot here, everybody.
Well, it's hot. You get swamp ass here, but also just like during your period, like, I don't know, it's kind of, wet and tender and hot. And so it's a very cooling and soothing. So shout out to honey pot pads. Yeah. And now do you want to head into like the household stuff?
Yeah, sure. So I have really one suggestion, which is Branch Basics.
Okay.
So Branch Basics is built on the idea of you have a concentrate and you use that one concentrate for laundry detergent, for all-purpose cleaner, for Windex, and
all-purpose bathroom.
Yeah, bathroom cleaner. So you can even get it in a starter kit with glass spray, reusable spray bottles and a reusable laundry container. And it says, okay, it has lines on the containers that says fill the concentrate up to here. Okay, now add water up to here. And so
user-friendly,
super user-friendly, super easy to use, and it freaking works. We just had our cleaner came and I said, hey, look, we're doing the non-toxic thing. She's like, okay, cool. She used everything. Everything came out cleaned as normal. And when we walked into the house after she was done, because we, went out for something, it didn't smell like bleach.
Nice.
But everything was clean.
Yeah.
So I don't know if she used it on the floor. There's some other things that you don't, we wipe down the counter every day. So I felt like that was really important to have. We do laundry all the time. It's going directly on our body. I feel like that's really important to have. So some things I don't, I haven't figured out in the cleaning world. One, dishwasher, I mentioned. I tried the Branch Basics dishwasher tabs, and they just do not cut it.
Yeah.
And then floor cleaning, hardwood floors. I haven't figured that out. Oven, there's some heavy-duty oven cleaning products that I just haven't really looked into non-toxic.
Yeah.
But Branch Basics was great because it was one purchase and it knocked out so many things.
That's really interesting. And the fact that it could do glass and toilet and all-purpose and it's all one thing.
And it all works.
That's wild. So it's literally just one bottle you use for all of the things.
One bottle, yeah. And then you use that concentrate and you put it in the other bottles and then you're done. I mean, the first time I did laundry with it, Brad was like, I think this works better.
Nice.
He's like, I think it works better than the other stuff we were using, which was the toxic shit anyway.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I will say our laundry situation, Matt has started making, for the last probably couple of years, I'd say at least a year and a half, it was some point during pregnancy, he started making our own laundry powder, which is basically just baking soda and essential oil and some washing soap. It's just powders that you can get in a grocery store mostly. And yeah, the thing that I love about making our own is that you can scent it however you want. So we'll change it up all the time with whatever kind of essential oils. We are currently on a lemon and grapefruit scent one.
Very nice. And where do you get your essential oils from?
I have some leftover Doterra ones, but I have also just gotten Sprouts ones. Nothing researched. Just was I want a different scent. I'm going to get another one at Sprouts.
Yeah. I think it depends on what I'm using them for. If I, when I'm doing healing work, they've said, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter because you're basically putting it in a bucket. It's not going on your hand. It's just, a place where you throw dirty energy. But I find, if I'm diffusing it and I'm breathing it in, I want it to be Young Living or a higher quality.
And is that where you get yours, Young Living?
I like Young Living, yeah.
Cool. And speaking of which, scent, I've recently gotten into making my own reed diffusers. So I'll take old jars that have that kind of narrowed top at the top. Sometimes old glass shampoo things that we've had, just soaps or weird just things that have the narrowed top because you don't want it to be just full on cylinder because then the stuff evaporates too quickly. And you just fill it up with sweet almond oil.
Yep.
You can get it at Sprouts and whatever, I think 50 drops of your favorite essential oil and stick some little bamboo sticks. We used bamboo skewers from the grocery store.
Yep.
And it works great. So in both of our bathrooms now we have essential oils, reed diffusers that I made. And then you and I recently got some eucalyptus branches from the farmer's market, and she included our shout out to Cece in the Uptown farmers market. Our eucalyptus lady.
Yes.
She gave us little tags that instructs you on basically how to like get the best scent out of it. And you take the branch that she ties up for you and roll it with something and stick it under the shower head. And it just like, it feels like, you know, you're in a spa bathroom and it smells divine.
Yes.
So shout out to eucalyptus in the shower.
Yes. There is one brand I've been wanting to try related to scent, which is Hilary Duff's new brand.
Of course.
I love Hilary
Wonder
Duff.
how EWG that's going to be friendly.
We're going to be best friends one day. She just doesn't know it. But no, like that's the whole, it's non-toxic. Like that's the whole thing about her brand. I think it's called I can't remember. It has a number in the title, but if you just Google like Hilary, or I'll put it in the show notes. But that's her whole thing is like non-toxic home fragrance.
Nice. Oh, nice.
Yeah. And it's like I think you plug it in the wall.
Oh.
Like it's one of those.
Okay. So my history with those things is like severe allergic reaction because my mom is like a Febreze lady to her dying day. And Febreze is probably a 10 out of 10 on the toxic scale.
Not
and
good.
The artificial smell of it just like it immediately makes like postnasal drip and just like cough come to me.
I mean, this one is essential oils.
I'm down for some like automatic dispensing of good scents and it also be non-toxic.
Yeah. And then
Sounds
she
awesome.
has there's a bunch of different kinds too, so you don't have to do the same.
That's one thing
over and
the
over.
smell creep. You like don't want your house to smell funky. And when you got dogs and babies and food and all that kind of stuff, I'm like, I wonder how my house smells. So that's good.
The other thing I'll mention is candles when we're speaking about smells.
Yes.
Obvious. Well, I don't know if this is actually obvious, but soy candles are like usually on the better end of just like better. It's better. Like this is everything here is a spectrum. So there's like on one end you have like Bath and Body Works candles, okay?
Which I still have so many of, and I don't know what to do with them.
Give them to Susan Jonte.
Fair.
She'll use them, or your mom or something. And then not that we're trying to like make you but you guys use them anyway, and you don't care, so whatever. And so then there's soy candles, which are still fragrant and burn a little bit cleaner, but they still don't burn completely clean. Beeswax candles, however, do burn completely clean.
Interesting.
However, they're usually not fragrant. They usually are like unscented, or they smell a little bit like honey.
Then what's the point of them?
The vibe.
So just having a candle rather than trying to scent your room.
It's very hygge, right?
Yeah.
Like I love a room of all candles. Like I love that.
So like tea light sort of candles.
Yeah,
that would be good.
Yeah, tea light, or you can even get like big, you know, ton of ounces beeswax candles. But what's great is if you're going to do them indoors, they burn clean. So like you can burn them in the winter in New York, right, with all of the windows closed, and it's not going to toxify your space.
Nice.
So
good to know. And do you have where you get them?
We got them on Amazon.
Yeah, so just beeswax.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Whatever.
I will say I'm in the mid spectrum of converting all my cleaning products. I still just have 7th generation stuff.
Hey, they do well.
They do? Are they
do pretty
okay
well.
on the
I
EWG?
think they're not, from what I remember, not every line is as clean, meaning like, I don't know exactly, but maybe their dish soap, it does pretty well, but their laundry soap isn't that great.
Right.
So it's kind of like based on what product it is. But
we have 7th generation dish soap, which is really, in my opinion, like I don't taste any of the residue. And so like, I'm like, cool, yay.
That's what Alicia uses too.
Cool. Okay, good. Alicia's now my barometer of like my dish soap. Also, we should ask her like what dish soap stuff she uses, since she's very,
Yeah. I don't think
about
she
it.
had one like for dishwasher. I don't think. Yeah, she probably just doesn't use the dishwasher right again.
Oh Lord,
I don't know.
Lady,
how she
we need to find you some dish soap.
You know, like lady who doesn't have children and husbands who eat 8 times a day, and
Fair, true. But yeah, so I have 7th generation like sprays and stuff, floor cleaner. I just like loaded up when we moved here. I was like, I'm just gonna we share the same cleaning lady, and she was like, cool, yeah, 7th generation. I asked her, I was like, what's a good non-toxic brand? She's like, 7th generation is usually good. And I was like, okay. So I just loaded up on all those. But yeah, I am looking forward to finding out how many of the purchases I've made on EWG show they're not actually clean, which is going to hurt my feelings. But
and remember, it's always a gradient. Like it's on a scale of 1 to 10. These are probably like, you probably don't have anything higher than a 4 or 5. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause you've already kind of like been looking for it. And then it's like, well, how important is it for you to go down to a 0 or a 1? And especially consider like cost is a factor here.
Yeah. I mean,
the lower it is, sometimes the more expensive it is because the smaller batches and they just, it's just like a different kind of niche business model. So you kind of have to weigh out like, well, how, do I want to pay, I don't know, however much extra a month to take it down to 0? Or am I like, okay, that I've really decreased my toxic load by 80% and that's good for me?
Yeah. Fair. True. It's not about perfection.
No.
And then I know we didn't really get into beauty in this episode since we've had some beauty episodes in the past, but I do shout out Bare Minerals. That was one of the first makeups I switched to, not just for the cruelty-free sort of thing, but also because it was like, oh, I'm trying to pay attention to what chemicals I'm putting on my skin, and makeup is full of it. And so Bare Minerals, I use their what's it called? The not foundation, but like a daily
primer?
Moisturizer. Just like a light foundation kind of, what's it called?
Primer? Tinted moisturizer?
Tinted moisturizer. Yeah. That also has some SPF in it. And I love it. Yeah. It's easy.
And I will shout out Nude Sticks. NUDESTIX. They're also cruelty-free, fairly low toxin load. And what I love about them is like the actual nude sticks of colors. You can use them anywhere. You can use them as blush. You can use them as lips. You can use them as probably not nail polish, but you get what I'm saying.
Super temporary nail polish for a photo shoot.
Yeah. So there you have it.
Yay.
Please send us your favorite non-toxic.
Like, actually, please do, because I genuinely want to find out more brands out there.
Yeah, and I would love. We'll definitely shout you out. And if you have an affiliate code, then send it to us because we'll use it to buy whatever we buy.
Yeah.
And maybe we can include that in the next episode as well. Especially dishwasher.
Yeah, we're on the hunt for a good dishwasher, one that works well and is low on the toxins.
And the other thing I'm searching for is fruit wash.
Fruit wash.
You know how if you put blueberries and then if you do baking soda, if you soak them in baking soda and something else, a bunch of dirt comes to the surface. You don't know this?
What?
It's a whole thing. Fruit and veggie wash.
I never
just Google it. You'll see it.
Oh God, I don't know if I want to.
Yeah, no, it's a thing. It's you want to wash what's coming because it's all kinds of stuff will come to the surface. Oh. Anyway,
wait, do you soak your fruit in baking soda water?
Not all the time, but yeah, a lot of the time.
Wow.
And broccoli and anything, especially anything you're gonna eat the skin of. I'm not soaking a banana, but
Wow.
And what's fascinating is the baking soda and stuff. It will get a certain level, but then there's fruit washes where you can take that same stuff that's been soaked in baking soda and you soak it in the fruit wash, and a ton more comes to the surface. But I wanted obviously a non-toxic.
Right. Otherwise, what's the point?
Right. Exactly. So, and this is a small thing, but I'm thinking about it more and more, and I'm just sometimes you have a blueberry and they kind of taste like dirt, and you're like, what is that? Why does this? What is
probably dirt?
It's probably dirt, and I'm not opposed to dirt necessarily, but even organic can get sprayed with shit.
Yep.
So, yeah,
we're just still working on Matt actually washing things before chopping them and eating them. So maybe we'll get to the fruit wash one day.
Well, you know what? I bet if you use the fruit wash, he would be like, oh shit, maybe I should be
taste better.
Taste better,
and then
he'll actually see.
Good point. We're just going to do some visual education here.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Well, email us please at dogmomsdobusiness@gmail.com.
There it is.
And we will see you next week, Mother Peppers.
Toodles.